What's going on, everybody? Draken here, and welcome back to the channel. Today we have another product showcase for you guys. This is again from our boys over at Dueling Guard. We're going to take a look at the Gauntlet Sling Bag as well as the Saber Playmat Tube Sling. These are two products that I have been very excited to review, very excited to show you guys. I've been messing around with these for a few weeks ever since I got it in the mail, and it's pretty awesome. It is a sling bag, so it's designed to kind of hold the essentials for your tournament, your commander night. It is just kind of there to hold what you need and keep it in a small footprint. And to my knowledge, they are kind of first on scene with this compact sling bag style. I know there's some other companies in the works doing their own interpretation of this, but Dueling Guard was the first to kind of come to fruition and manufacture and bring the product to the masses. So this is awesome. I'm very excited to show this to you guys. But before we get started, we're going to do some obligatory channel affiliates and shoutouts. Be sure to head over to tcgplayer.com and use my link below. Bookmark it, save it. Every time you buy anything from that link, whether it's Magic, Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, other trading card game products and accessories, I get a little kickback, and every little bit helps the channel. You can also head right on over to duelingguard.com. You can get your own gauntlet, your own playmat, sling, any anime deck boxes, playmats, sleeves, you name it. They have a great selection of all your favorite stuff over there, and you could also use code Draken for 5% off. I get a little kickback on that as well. I've been asked in passing, hey Draken, how can I support you directly? You don't really need to, but if you guys wanted to, head on over to buy me a coffee. Leave me a couple bucks so I can get a coffee. That's much appreciated as well. Any capital funnel into the channel always goes back into it. So every little bit is appreciated. And if you guys want to connect with me in real time, be sure to head on over to the Discord. Send me a friend request, message me, ask to join the server. We got a lot of people in there, kind of always talking about stuff. With the new set coming out in April, Tarkir Dragonstorm, we're kind of ramping up our conversations and discussions on that. So always a good time. And shout out to my boy, WillUp88. We had a really cool discussion just over Discord for about an hour, just talking Dragon stuff. Really cool guy, really unique insight. He definitely plays Dragon from more of a CEDH lens. So different perspective, different card choices, and a whole different game. And it was really kind of cool and awesome just to ping pong some ideas back and forth. If you guys want to see a CEDH Dragon deck from WillUp88, please leave a comment below and I will feature him and his deck on the channel. But with all that out of the way, let's take a look at kind of what's on the table in front of us. So I actually purchased this with my own money. This wasn't given to me by Dueling Guard. And fun fact for you, I have a second one I also purchased with my own money on the way because I just liked this so much. So let's kind of start with the box and just kind of the product a little bit. So this is the Gauntlet Sling Bag. It comes in this kind of nice cardboard box. They come in a couple different colors. You can have the solid, matte black finish. They have a ruby, which is a nice deep red. And then they have a nice like turquoise blue. I forget the verbiage they used for the color. And then if you did a pre-order bundle with them, you got a nice discount. You got a bag of your choice. You got a sling of your choice to house a playmat, and then you also got a random Dueling Guard playmat as well. So it was cool to kind of get a discount just for pre-ordering it, and you got the little bundle. Both of these products are still available on their website. There is no pre-order bundle discount, but you can buy them at face value, and then again use my code for about 5% off on your purchase to get a little discount. So let's take a look at the box. So you kind of have your sling bag here. It has some attachments at the bottom. Very standard packaging. It just says essential highlights. You got extra space and storage. Plush velvet interior for maximum protection. It obviously fits both versions of the Dueling Guard deck boxes. Protective water-resistant material, reinforced nylon hoops, high-quality zippers, and padded strap for comfort. So kind of like I said in the beginning, this is a sling bag. It is not designed for a giant commander night where you want to bring 20 different decks and play for 25 hours in the course of a day. It's not meant to house that. This is designed to house, you know, between like 1 and 3 decks, some dice, some tokens, some counters, playmat on the bottom. You zip it up and you're ready to go. And just the way my group's been going, I usually carry a gem backpack with me, and that holds, I think I got it to hold like 9 to 10 decks plus dice and counters and the whole nine. And I just don't need to bring that much stuff with me anymore to my LGS or to game night, just because we don't play as long. We just play more frequent. So it's nice to be able to throw, you know, 1 to 3 decks in here with some dice and tokens and then go to game night. And then the Saber kind of attaches to the bottom, as well as there's a configuration for a backpack if you wanted to do that as well. I think it kind of takes away from the sling style, but it's cool to have the bonus feature in there as well. And then if you go ahead and you go to duelingguard.com, like I said, when you pre-ordered it, they gave you a free playmat. So you won't get a playmat if you buy the product now. But lucky for you guys, I don't really need another playmat. And I know a lot of people like Naruto, so that's what this is. So I'm actually going to give this away along with some of the rest of the stuff that I have for my giveaways. So with that said, let's get the products out of the boxes and look at some of the stuff we could put in. All right, so let's get started. Let's take a look at the sling first, just because this is a straightforward product for your playmat. So this is the Playmat Tube Sling. So the interesting part about both of these is they can be used independently of each other. So you can just use the Playmat Sling, or you can just use the bag, or you can combine them together in 2 different configurations. So as you can see, I have that Naruto playmat kind of shoved in here. If you don't know anything about Dueling Guard playmats, they're a little bit larger and thicker, so you could probably really comfortably fit 1 Dueling Guard playmat, or maybe 2 of your favorite, you know, Ultra Pro standard playmats in there. But this is really nice. It's got that nice kind of matte black waterproof finish, and it has this strap on it, so you can use it as its own individual sling if you just wanted to carry kind of the playmat on its own. And then when you want to attach it to the bag, you can pop these off and it attaches to the bottom of the bag, and then you could reattach this to sling it around your shoulder or for the backpack configuration. I don't know if I'm going to get into the backpack configuration a ton. There's some instructions online for it, but it's just kind of nice to have it as a bonus. So again, playmat sling is pretty standard. If you ever had experience with Quiver's playmat sling, this is very reminiscent of it, just higher quality all the way around. I love the materials. I love the matte black finish. Zipper is very, very smooth, doesn't catch, and you do have that water resistance to it. So that's just the playmat sling. Very straightforward, but awesome, solid product. You're going to need to carry playmats with you, right? And then here we kind of have the awesomeness. We have the actual Gauntlet bag. So let's kind of just take a tour just around the outside of the bag, right? So you have the sling strap, and again, you do have some extra strapping here, which you can remove, and you should remove if you want the sling configuration. If you want the backpack configuration, you'll keep this on and you can configure it that way. And I'll leave some, you know, some links to the product page so you can kind of see all the different configurations. But just like the sling bag, that same matted finish kind of, I don't want to say techie, but a lot of like technology bags will use this kind of, you know, matted water resistant material. A little bit of rubber, nice kind of, you know, plastic and metal hoops. And this is actually where the sling, the playmat sling can attach to the bottom. And that's the configuration that I'm going to use the most. And then you kind of do a tour around the back. You just kind of have a little handle here, some buckles, attachments, and, you know, kind of the whole nine. But outside, pretty standard, pretty straightforward. But, excuse me, still recovering from that sickness from the last video. Let's get into the inside and kind of look at basically, you know, what you could put in here. So as soon as you open it, you're kind of greeted with this one giant compartment with this very nice plushy, almost like a foamy, I don't want to say foamy, but very, very plushy microfiber-like material on the inside. and then front and back, and then this kind of reinforced front here. And then if you peel this back, you have 2 pockets right here on the front. These are kind of those stretchy mesh pockets you'll see on a lot of bags. 2 small pockets here. You have a large zippered compartment here, and then these 3 little small straps, very, very small straps. I'm not really sure what you could put in there. If you can see, I put something in there now, and we'll kind of get into that. So we'll get into kind of how you can configure this bag, but kind of clamshell style opening. You have your pockets in there. Very, very nice. As you can see, I put an air tag in there, and then I've already put in these little dry and dry packets to kind of absorb moisture. Just when I house my deck boxes in here, pulling out any moisture so my foils don't turn into Pringles is always good, right? So let's kind of get into some of the configurations, I guess you can do if that's what you're interested in. So you could kind of get a little peek into how I organize my Magic collection, which will be kind of interesting for you guys to see. But let's kind of take a look at the most standard way of it. We'll throw some deck boxes in here, and then we'll go through some deck box configurations, and then we'll kind of fill it up with some accessories, and I'll show you kind of like my final boss configuration that I'm going to do. So obviously, as mentioned before, Dueling Guard has their own line of deck boxes. This is their XL double deck box. Comes in all your different favorite animes. This one just so happens to be Bleach. Let's get a snapshot of that. Beautiful, beautiful deck box. We are also going to be giving this away when we do our giveaways, so stay tuned for that. But obviously, this is their XL model, and then they have a standard size model as well. It fits both of those very comfortably, right? Now, these each will hold 1 commander deck, so you're getting 2 commander decks just by putting the actual Dueling Guard license boxes in there. And if you have a smaller deck box, this is a 40 count, maybe for some infinite tokens, right? You can kind of toss those on the side there. Let's see if we can squeeze. We probably can't. Yeah, you can't squeeze like a boulder or anything else in there. But you can, with the actual Dueling Guard box and maybe like a 40 count box for your infinite tokens. Very nice, very comfortable. And personally, I do use a lot of the Dueling Guard deck boxes. I will use them usually when I want to take, in particular, 2 decks. So that configuration, pretty straightforward, pretty nice. If you're a Yu-Gi-Oh player, you'll have a smaller box, so it'll be a little bit less depth to it, and you could actually probably shove like a calculator case. So I did order a second one, again with my own money. This is not sent to me, neither is the second one, but I ordered a second one for my Edison, quote-unquote Edison bag, so we play a little retro Yu-Gi-Oh, and I can fit the smaller deck box with my Yu-Gi-Oh stuff and my calculator case kind of in here, and it works out great. But, you know, not everybody has a Dueling Guard deck box, unfortunately, and some of us, including myself, we like to mix and match some of our favorite manufacturers, right? So let's kind of go to something basic now. I am particular with the products that I use, so you're going to get a lot of the same stuff. So first we're going to take a look at, you know, how many boulders you could fit in here, right? And it's pretty self-explanatory, and if you can see the way this zipper kind of arcs, you just have to kind of tuck your deck boxes underneath these 2 sides if you want to maximize your space, right? So I have a boulder here. If you guys are interested, we'll kind of go through what deck is in here. This is a budget blue-white vehicle with Shorakai and Katori. This is one of my budget Henzi decks. Show that in there. And this is my budget mono green Ayula Bears deck, right? So you could really comfortably fit 3 Ultimate Guard boulders in there. And you might even be able to kind of shove your infinite token box in there as well. Boom. Yeah, so you can fit 3 boulders, the little infinite token 40 card box if you wanted to put something like that in there. You didn't want to keep them loose. And that will fit more than perfect. And then we have some room for accessories here, right? So, and that's kind of the name of the game here, right? If you wanted to take 3 decks with you, that is probably the most perfect configuration, or one of them. And I usually house my budget decks in just Ultimate Guard Boulder single sleeved. But maybe you have something a little different. You're like me, you also like to double sleeve some decks. I have these Spectrum prisms here. So these fit kind of right in there, and I actually dropped one. So those go right there, and all right. Sorry, I had to make a cut, dropped one of the boxes, but so I just kind of loaded up 3 Spectrum prisms in here. This is a Yarok Pod deck, double sleeved in the Spectrum prism. This is the Secret Lair Angels deck, I believe, double sleeved in a prism. And then I also have my Athreos Shatterborn Apostle deck, double sleeved in prisms. And 3 of these fit very comfortably in here as well. Now they are ever so slightly thicker than the boulders, so you can't get that 4th mini box for tokens and stuff in here, but we'll get into a cool spot where you can put your tokens in a little bit. But it does comfortably house 3 prisms, and then if you had, like, you know, prisms and a boulder, obviously, you know, you can mix and match those out as well. But you know, again, these are some of my more budget decks. Anything in a boulder is like $250, $300 or less. Anything in a prism is like between $300 and $600, and then anything in my other deck boxes is usually more than that, and they're kind of the more premium and more powerful decks that I have. So I also house all of my more expensive commander decks in these Titan deck boxes. So these are by a company called Box Gods. They are a tower style metal aluminum deck box, and I really like the fact that I can cram these in here because these hold a 100 double sleeve card deck. On the bottom, each of their own deck boxes has dice, tokens, counters, life counter, and I could just kind of toss them right in here, slip this guy underneath this lip. It's a little taller than your normal deck boxes, but these have roughly the same dimensions as the Ultra Pro Satin Tower and the Monolith, I believe, from Ultimate Guard. But I just like these because they're metal, they're kind of cool, they're fancy. Fun fact about these, you can't really find them. They are like unicorns in the wild. Usually when you find them, they're on eBay. They're a little overpriced, but I try to snag them. So this one houses my Tiny Bones deck. What do we got here? We have my Ixchel Infect deck. Again, complete with its own dice, tokens, life counter, and that kind of fits in. Wedge it on the side. Push that over, and then this is my Yuriko deck with the Year of the Tiger, and those fit beautifully. And this is a pretty cool sight to be seen because, you know, my budget decks and my lower power decks, they're all fun and dandy, but my play group usually plays higher power, and if we're going to play something lower power, we're usually pretty vocal about it. But it's nice to just have like 3 super high power decks complete with dice, tokens, counters, all in their own individual boxes. I zip it up and I'm ready to go. This is awesome, and when I pre-ordered the bag, I was really hoping I could get this configuration to fit because it's just 3 very complete decks with all the accessories you need in the box. Also, in case you are wondering, and we're going to give you a little sneak peek, right? So this is my Edgar Markov deck, sleeved up, ready to go. But this is in an Aaron Kane deck box. So the profile, and the reason why I bought this is because I could not find another Titan, and I like the Titans. The profile is ever so slightly taller and a little bit wider, but kind of moving things around, right? Shove that in the corner, shove that in the corner. This guy slides right in the middle. Boom. Money. Looks beautiful. Love to see it. Great configuration. And I just can't kind of stress how excited I am that I could fit this configuration. Again, if I wanted to take 3 decks kind of complete and full, and I didn't want to bring my Dueling Guard deck box, or I wanted to bring 3 decks as opposed to 2, the fact that this is a configuration is fantastic. So let's get some of these out of the way now. Again, you can mix and match the configuration. You know, you can have your tower in the middle, your prism on the side, followed by your boulder. But long story short, you can fit 3 decks. Now, if you wanted to get a little spicy with it, you could do something like that and like jam in a boulder if you wanted to. I don't really recommend it, but long story short, 2 to 3 decks. So let's pull some of these out. And let's look at to like what else can you jam in here? What are some ideas of stuff that you can jam in here? So let's pull these out. Let's take a look at some of the other compartments. So right here are 2 mesh pockets, and then I'm not really sure what I wanted to put in there, and I think I have the perfect idea. So what I want to do is I want to throw one side for these little dry erase markers, right? These are by a company called Infinitokens. They're just mini dry erase markers for their tokens. Those fit nicely here. Currently, my Infinitokens are in this Ultimate Guard Boulder 40s count, but I can't really jam it in there with all configurations. But what I think would be cool is if I opened it, I took out, I don't know, maybe that many tokens. I doubt I will ever need more than that in the course of a Commander game. And those can kind of shove perfectly in right there. And now I have 3 decks, dice and everything. And then I also have tokens, dry erase marker. The eraser can kind of fit in there as well. I'm strapped and ready to go. Now, if I'm bringing if I'm bringing along my Aaron Kane deck boxes or my Titans, those have dice and counters in them, right? But if I'm bringing along one of the more bare bones, just compact deck boxes, there's no dice and tokens in there or dice and counters, and I might need them, right? So that's where I think this compartment will come in. If I can just fill this with just some random dice. Just kind of, throw enough in there. Boom, right? And you can fit more or less and, kind of, based on your arrangement. And again, there is a dry packet in there, right? So those are what you see in a lot of different products, but what they do is they take the moisture out of what's in there. So I always like to shove a couple in there, again, like I said, to preserve my foils. But then, maybe you want some life counters, right? So these life counters can go in this pocket. They can go in one of these pockets here. This is, these are relic tokens, they're called, by Ultra Pro. These were made like years ago, but you have your commander damage and you have your life here. But I just find those cool to keep track of some life. Got a little demon one. And you just toss that in there as well. Now, I'm an iPhone guy, so obviously I have AirTags, but if you are an Android person, I'm sure there is like a tile or an equivalent, but shove my little AirTag right in this little pocket. What that'll do is if I misplace the bag, I can actually track and ping the location. Maybe somebody swipes my bag. I'm good to go. And then, this little clicky life wheel, we can just kind of, maybe toss in here. But you're working with a lot of space, despite it being such a small footprint, which I really like. I really enjoy. So this is kind of going to be my setup with like what I put in here for accessories for the most part. If you had any extra sleeves, you can use this spot for extra sleeves or top loaders and things like that. But this is kind of going to be my go-to. Let's move this dice counter over here. Let's take our Dueling Guard deck box. Toss that bad boy in. Look at that. boom, good to go. You know, a little bit of a flex fit out here. I believe this is due to like the dice and stuff, but not bad. Not a bad squeeze, not a bad fit. I think all it would take is, you know, just kind of push these dice, make sure they're all kind of level and flat. And then let's say we wanted to bring our larger deck boxes with us. We're going to take Titan A with Yuriko. Titan B, XL. And let's get a little fancy again. Sneak peek, Edgar Markov in the Aaron Kane deck box. Slide that boy in there, boom. Give it a little pinch up top. And you're golden, you're good to go. I mean, it's based on, so one of the bad things about the Titans, and why I would encourage you to probably buy something from Dueling Guard, is the weight. They're metal, and they are chunky boys. I mean, they add a lot of weight to any bag. I don't know if you guys can kind of resonate with that, but it's going to add some weight. Let's unzip it. Take these guys out. And let's put our just kind of standard boxes back in there. Obviously, not as much weight to it. Yeah, so that is kind of the different configurations, and again, just throwing some stuff in there. Again, it is designed and is kind of marketed as a tournament bag, so if you're somebody who likes to go to tournaments, maybe you play draft, 60 card formats, other card games, it's perfect for that. But if you just kind of want your all-in-one, you know, lightweight game night bag, this is also perfect, right? Let's hook up the sling bag and we'll close this review out. All right, so we have our sling bag all packed up with the Saber Playmat tube attached to the bottom. And they even thought of everything. They said, hey, you know, your Saber, based on these straps, might have the ability to fall out. Let's give you a little carabiner. That way you could attach it right to the top. But, I mean, if you're taking this to a game night, you're taking this to a tournament, like your strap, you're good to go. Everything you need, one bag, nice compact footprint, easy to take care of, easy to keep track of, nice water-resistant material. You can put a little GPS tracker in there and you're good to go. Now, I will say, as you can see, there is some extra strapping here, which I will remove. Personally, I'm going to use it in the sling bag style configuration, kind of crossbody, lightweight, good to go. If you keep this little micro strap on and clip back on the Saber strap, you can actually get a backpack style configuration where you have a strap here and a strap there. And I'll leave the link to the product out there so you guys can take a look at that visual as well if you wanted more of a backpack. But again, I'm going to use it as the sling bag. All right, folks, and that concludes our showcase of the Dueling Guard Gauntlet and the Saber Playmat Sling. I hope you guys enjoyed the review. I'm kind of new to the video making process of TCG accessories, so if you guys have any feedback on the presentation, the way I speak about them, any of the talking points, anything you want to add, anything you want to see, I'm looking for feedback when I do these reviews. But long story short, this is the best trading card game product, especially in the form of a bag, that I've come across in a long time. I highly recommend it. Please go scoop yours up at duelingguard.com and use code Draken for 5% off. Don't forget to use my code on TCG Player and connect with me on the Discord. Stay tuned for some more videos. We have Edgar Markov coming up here in the next few weeks to complement Innistrad Remastered. And with that, guys, please like the video, please comment, please subscribe, and I'm out.